What would you say is the best consistency of concentrate? We've got a lot of options that we're going to be ranking today, but leave a comment. Let me know what your favorite one is before I give it a score and see if you like my favorite. Also, I do a sesh on Twitch every night at 9 p.m. Eastern. We're probably getting high right now. Come check it out. But there are a lot of different kinds of concentrates. I'm not really going to focus on the extraction methods. I would say most of the stuff falls into a few basic categories: solventless extraction, solvent extraction, and distillation. But we're going to focus on the consistencies today. And I do have to say that the consistencies, they're not always exactly the same as each other. Sometimes they're a little bit different, and there are some subcategories on these. But let's start off with diamonds. Diamonds are a girl's best friend, but are they a dabber's best friend? For me, no. Diamonds and sauce can be good. There was a huge wave of, bro, I only smoke diamonds. Like, I feel like 2016, 2017, when there was a huge wave of live resin, it was just a bunch of diamond heads that are like, nah, bro, I only dab diamonds. But honestly, diamonds by themselves, kind of boring. Diamonds with some sauce, a little bit better, but it's not always the best to handle. I'm gonna give them a C tier. Diamonds by themselves, not that great. Next on the list, let's do sauce. Let's do sauce by itself. Do I have diamonds and sauce on here? I do. I do have it on here. I would say I like the sauce a little bit better. It's not as easy to scoop like a bunch or whatever, but I'm never trying to scoop a bunch. And the sauce is gonna have more of the flavor than just the diamonds. So sauce by itself is gonna be a little bit higher than diamonds for me. But what about the diamonds and sauce? The combination of the two, a little gems and juice, a little terp sauce on the rocks. I've seen a bunch of pet names for it. What's your favorite name for diamonds and sauce? I think when you add them together, it's the next level. Like, this one's not great by itself. This one's not a little bit better, not great by itself, but together, it's milk and cereal. I don't want to eat cereal by itself. I don't want to drink a glass of milk. Maybe a bowl of cereal, though. What's up? Let's see. Next on the list, let's do shatter. Let's talk about my good old friend shatter. When I first got into concentrates, if it ain't shatter, it don't matter. Everybody was all about shatter. There was really a few consistencies to choose from at the time. Butter, crumble, and shatter, and everybody was like, no, I gotta have the shatter, bro. It's got a slightly higher percent. That means it's better. It usually means it's the hardest one to handle. It doesn't have the best flavor, but it looks clear-ish. You can see through it. Shatter shots from back in the day, seeing slabs of shatter was really cool, but like, I don't want any shatter, bro. I don't need the old cowboy shatter shootout. Pink, pink. Trying to scoop a dab, just having one shoot everywhere. Everybody that regularly gets shatter has some stuck somewhere on their walls in the room. Good luck. Good luck finding it. Shatter's pooped here, bro. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. I'm gonna probably get a gram of shatter soon just to remind myself how bad it is. I don't want it. And bro, in before, people are like, bro, shatter's the best, bro. Just warm up your tool a little bit and then you can scoop. Bro, I don't want to do steps. I don't need a process. I just want to scoop a dab. So hot starts or cold starts, I'm considering both in these. Shatter's staying at poop tier. Let's try crystalline. I don't even see this that much anymore. I'd see it more in Colorado. I don't see too many people in Florida. A lot of the times it's just like really small diamonds, like just tiny little shattered little crystals. Not great, usually not super flavorful. Sometimes it's just drier and not fun to handle. I'm gonna throw crystalline at D tier. D for dab. Now let's see, I put a few things on here. Not everything is dabs essentially, like RSO, you're not really trying to dab. I'd say RSO is one of the best edibles. A full spectrum extract, I feel like when I take RSO, I get a way better edible high than distillate. Capsules, RSO capsules versus distillate capsules, whatever. I'm usually getting a much better high. I'm putting RSO at S tier. We're at the top. Let's see what we got next on the list. I might have a couple of repeats. Let's do keef. I don't use a keef catch in my grinder. I can buy keef from the shops if I really need some for like moon rocks or something. But like just keef by itself, I feel like the best way to use keef is to just mix it in with flour and add extra potency to the flour. But just by itself, it's like, I've smoked my fair share of keef bowls, but like, I don't plan on doing many more in the future. I'm gonna say keef is, it's C tier. It's workable. You can do stuff with it. But keef above crystalline, I'm with it. Let's see what we got on here next. Crumble. Okay, crumble is one of those, it's like a super early consistency. Back when you would only see shatter, butter, and crumble, this was, I liked it less than shatter. I was getting shatter at the time because if it ain't shatter, it don't matter, but I hated crumble. And then after I grew out of my little shatter phase, I still hate crumble. It's terrible. It's like hard to handle. If it's really dry, it's so bad. if it's a little on the saucier side, a little terpier, it's not bad, but most of the time it's so dry. Every crumble container I had looked like the inside was just lined with little spots of me trying to scrape the crumble out. You could never get it off, even if I put a little honey straw in there or something. It was just always the worst to handle, and I feel like I left the most of it in a container, like even more than sauce. I'm putting crumble at poop tier, and I think it's worse than shatter. I don't know. Crumble's not gonna shoot across the room when I try to scoop a little bit. I hate it. Look, I'm good on both. Okay, let's try some bubble hash here. Are we just gonna assume that it's full melt? Because Keef is like a low-grade bubble hash. Let's assume that it's full melt. Almost every time I get like a full melt bubble hash, it's fun to look at, you know, it's cool, but like I don't feel like I'm getting as good of a hit as when I'm using some of my other preferred concentrates. It's good though. I've had some really, really good experiences. The thing is, like, the consistencies can change so much. So I might be talking about something and you're thinking about something else. These consistencies aren't rock solid with each other. Bubble hash is like an extraction method, but you can have varying qualities of bubble hash. I'm still gonna say, let's go B tier. I'm thinking B tier, like every 6-star hash you get is secretly 5.4 stars, but like it's still good. Just realized the Piatella I put on the list didn't save. Piatella can be close to like some of the other ones. It really is another one that you're not really supposed to be dabbing it. It's more for like rolling it up in some hash joints, mixing it with some flour. But I have dabbed plenty of Piatella. It usually is higher quality hash, and I would still say you get some pretty decent dabs with it. It's not as clean as some other stuff. You might have to wipe your nail out a little bit more. You're gonna have some plant material left over, but it's still really good. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on top of A tier. All right, next on the list is let's go with butter. Butter's one of my favorites. Do I have butter and batter on here? I don't. For me, they're in a similar category. Butter is just a little bit on the saucier side. Batter is a little bit on the drier side. They can be similar. I've literally seen stuff called butter and batter. It's the same consistency. I've seen some companies that use the term batter if it's a live extract, and they use butter if it's a cured extract. Like I said, none of these are like super scientific. None of these terms are rock solid. You might be thinking of something slightly different than me. But butter, batter, live, cured, it's my favorite one to handle. They whip it. They're whipping it up, so you're homogenizing all the cannabinoids and terpenes, and it just becomes easier to handle compared to something like diamonds and sauce where they go to separate it. So I would say butter at top of the list. It's my favorite one to handle. Batters and butters, easy to scoop, perfect for cold starts, hot starts, putting in the bowls and other stuff. It's really one of the easiest ones to handle. Especially if it's like closer to peanut butter, but a little on like the drier side to where it lets go of your tool. Oy vey, what else we got on here? We got the, I think this is honeycomb, crumble. Honeycomb, I don't even see anymore. I used to see, like, there was a company that exclusively made honeycomb when I was in Colorado Springs. I would get their stuff all the time. It was usually like nice colored, nice flavored. Some of it was, it was just weird to handle. It was like honeycomb. It had a bunch of little holes in it. It was like crumble, but I always had a better experience with crumble, and it was just like fun to look at. I feel like I got some of the best smells when I was getting honeycomb. I'm gonna go ahead and put it at I don't know, maybe D tier. It's pretty close to crumble, but it's better. All right, what do we got on the list here? Sugar wax. Sugar wax is another one. There's so many varying qualities. Sometimes you get it, it's all sugar. Sometimes you get it, it's just really saucy with a few specks of sugar in there. I like the sugary stuff where it's not super saucy and you can handle it pretty easy. I'm gonna go ahead and put sugar wax at the stuff that I'm thinking of. Some of this Harmony live resin sugar I used to get years ago. Bro, S tier, so good. All right, next on the list, we only got a few more here. I've added some. I know we did a list a couple of years ago, but we got to do the updates every now and then. I have rosin on here, and then I have rosin jam and fresh press. We're just going to call this batter. Rosin batter. I'm putting this up at the top. I know I said batter and butter are close to each other. Let's go distillate. You know where distillate's going. Bruh, distillate... It's the lowest of the low. It's no secret. They're never using the best flour to make the distillate. They're using like stuff they swept up off the floor. They're using some trim like, hey, don't throw that bud away. We're going to put it in the distillate. Sometimes distillate is literally like 40 different strains all mixed together, all the trim. They're just trying to give you a good bulk final product. It's never the best. I'm putting it at poop tier. All right, we've got the wax. Wax is a good one. Wax is another one of those, like, that's a catch-all term for me. I'll call any concentrate a wax or any cured concentrate a wax. But it used to be in a lot of places one of the consistencies, although some places will sell crumble and call it wax. Some places will sell butter and call it wax. I'm going to go based off this image because it's a little bit on the, it looks a little bit on the terpier, easier to handle side. We're going to go throw it up at A tier here. Maybe this is a cured concentrate. And maybe that's the difference. All right, we got live rosin jam and a live rosin fresh press. So the jam, they do a little jar tech, add a little heat to that. And the fresh press, they just press it. They don't do anything fancy. It's not whipped like a butter or a batter. You're just getting it fresh out the plant, out the hash. I like jam better. I feel like you get some really good smells and flavors with it. It's not too hard to handle. I'm putting it at the top of A tier, at the top. I've got a lot of it recently, not all of it. Like I said, the consistencies aren't consistent. Not all of it was amazing, but it's usually really good for the most part. Now, fresh press rosin, I like it. It looks cool, but it's one of the harder ones to handle. Maybe it's just some of the different ones that I've got recently. But I had to bust out the hot knife. I'm over here like, yeah, we don't really need to use hot knives. But I'm like, I can't scoop it well unless I get the hot knife out. Not my favorite. The hits on it are good, but if it's not super easy to handle, like I can't take a hit when a prof song comes on shuffle. If I'm trying to go dodo, but I gotta find my hot knife to scoop the rosin, to scoop the fresh press, I don't want to struggle. Good stuff, though. You get good hits. It's usually a little bit more expensive than some of the other things. I'm gonna go ahead and put it at B tier. I'm pretty happy with that. Anyway, those are the official rankings for every concentrate consistency. If you disagree with my rankings, leave me 3 comments about it. You're wrong. Have a lit day, my dudes. I'll see you on Twitch.